All right, welcome back. Thank you so much. We're jumping into High on Life. It's my first impressions of it. So far, I've played about, I don't even know how many times. I think when I started writing down like notes and stuff, we were about 8 hours in. And I was not sure where to, because I've played more since then, because I've actually, my opinion has sort of changed, and we'll address it throughout. I think the first half of it, I was not having the best experience, but I think what I'm assuming to be the last half, as I haven't finished the game yet, it really starts to feel like it picks up, but there are some like road bumps where it's not as enjoyable. So anyway, that's all to say, I had some issues with like, where should I be recording this? I didn't want it to be super spoilery, so I didn't want to record the last half of the game, but I also have played further than I thought I was going to play as I started enjoying the game more and more. I've decided I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to start a new game. We'll go through the tutorial, the tutorial level, and then also go through like the intro, and hopefully there'll be some more exciting stuff that happens during there. We can get an example of combat and stuff like that, and then we can kind of go over some of my thoughts on the game. So first, just want to jump into the menus. Obviously, here we are. One thing that, and I'll look through too here because I want to make sure I'm not lying, but I do not see an FOV slider anywhere, and that to me is a very big issue, especially for a shooter, especially a first-person shooter specifically, and especially for a shooter where you are, or a game where you're running around very quickly. For me personally, it's a problem because I do get very strong headaches if I am not able to adjust it to something that feels more natural when it's running around. It feels narrow, it feels constrained, and it hurts my head over time. Performance overall, I think, kind of while we're here, we'll talk about the rest of the technical stuff. I'd have to test levels and settings before saying there's an issue with the game, but I have noticed that there are some areas where it doesn't seem to be like large areas. I don't know if it's like busy areas where there's like a lot of whatever going on in like a condensed space, but the frame rate is like, it's really dipped even when not recording to like sub 50, sub 40 frames per second, even like dropping down to like medium settings. I can't get a stable 60 frames per second, which is an issue, but again, it's happened a couple of times. I haven't done repeat testing. I don't know if it's an issue with my system on my side or the game or what, or if there's setting tweaks I can make to make that not an issue. There are quite a few bugs, and maybe we'll get to see some of them. If I can't get it in the base recording, I'll try to add clips of them later. We'll see. I'm recording this a lot later than I was hoping I would. I was hoping I'd be recording it last night, so a little bit behind in that regard. But there have been areas where you can like easily and repeatedly fall through the map. There's one specific place, I think it's on Zephyr Heights or something like that, where there's like a rock and it's really just a painfully obvious place, and you can just fall through the map, like get under everywhere. I've tried to use the abilities I have at the time to skip past parts of the level, have not been able to. Once you unlock the jetpack though, I wouldn't be surprised if there are places you can get by falling through there. Maybe skips part of why it would actually matter, like you can't actually skip the level, but again, it's a very obvious and very egregious instance of like being able to fall through. I've also had objects like chairs and the road blockers or whatever they're called, they just fall through the map. You just like bump into them or whatever and they just fall through the map. I'm not sure, like it's one of those things where it happens too much, or it's like in a weird gray area where it doesn't happen enough that I feel like it's intentional, but it happens enough that I think it might be. And so I'm really I'm really not sure if I should qualify that as a bug, but I'm gonna include it as something of concern, of note. I guess with that, we'll jump into this. We'll kind of go through the tutorial. I did really like the tutorial. We'll go through on normal mode. It was funny. It was very Rick and Morty-esque.
Check, hello. Can you read me? Buck Thunder. Buck. Oh, it's me, Phil, your divorce attorney. Welcome to Buck Thunder 2 Xeno Slaughter. Another Buck Thunder game. Your ex-wife is back and more evil than ever. She's sending a bunch of her new blood-sucking boyfriends out. So go shoot them. Just kill them all, Buck. That's the game. Buck, it's me, Phil, your divorce lawyer again. You remember how to move and jump and everything, right? There's shit on the screen that tells you how to do all that stuff. All right, Buck, you're gonna have to use the... Oh, shit, I'm sorry, Buck. I forgot there's no double jump, just crouch. We gotta try crouching, Buck. Fucking scheduling and scoping bullshit. A fucking crouch prioritized over a double jump. Who is this? Who? Stay sharp, Buck. A bunch of your ex-wife's new alien boyfriends. There they are.
I'm very curious, because it was a very odd and enjoyable intro. I'm curious how fast we can get through it. Oh. Part of me is curious. I don't know if I can actually just die and like skip it, or if I should just be... I don't think you can die in this.
That almost killed you. I'm not gonna let you die in the tutorial. I'm your divorce attorney, but you've got to be more careful. You're probably preoccupied thinking about your ex-wife.
Hey, open up! You gonna hide in there all day? Mom and Dad just left. Are you gonna answer me or what? Coming in. You better not be doing anything weird in there. Why didn't you say goodbye to Mom and Dad before they left for their trip? You know they were pissed, right? Whatever. We got the place to ourselves now. Oh my god, don't give me that look, narc. What, are you mad that I'm throwing this party tonight?
So this part really confused me. This ends up being the character selector.
Mom and Dad are gone
And
for a whole
it didn't,
fucking
like-
week. We can do whatever we want. Here,
It
come on,
didn't
try
show... It seems painfully obvious now, but I was so confused. I was like, what am I supposed to be doing? But these are arrows and you're supposed to select your character.
Whoa, it's
But
kicking in. Oh,
I do
what's
appreciate
wrong
that
with your
there
face?
is a wide
As I
selection
was
of characters.
Did you know she almost got a DUI? Don't tell
Oh,
me.
and I'm just now
That
figuring
is
out
a
you can
secret,
actually use
but
the,
everyone already knows.
and then you just
It's
click
really
on it.
fucked up. Her parents
But
took
anyway,
her
you can use the
car with- Ugh, finally,
A and D
there
keys,
you are.
but
I felt like I was losing
it was
my
very,
mind. So,
very confusing
do
to
you
me.
want it or nah?
Initially. I don't know if anyone else struggled with it
Alright,
quite like
I'm
I
gonna go
did.
get ready
It may
for
just
the
be a me
party.
issue.
This stuff's gonna last me all week. It is.
There's not much. The tutorial, or the intro is a little bit slow, I think, but like having played through the rest of the game, I guess it's fine. This, it just, I don't know, it's uncomfortably slow, but
Mom told me I was in charge. She did it in secret so it wouldn't hurt your feelings, and Dad said that he flat out doesn't love you. It was actually pretty messed up. By the way, Mom left you a note on the fridge. Go read it. Then come meet me outside. I need your help grabbing party shit from the store.
I'm just not a big fan of these like slow like walk and talk segments in games, especially like a game like this where it is just
You come in or what? So, I guess...
It's just a shooter. The narrative is not like a high point. None of this really matters.
Get down and stay quiet. I knew aliens were real.
Shan awalaha, shitao hekawan, halawa, wan
Can you understand what they're saying? Oh shit, look! It's Mr. Pilfrey! He's got that, what's it called? Dementia.
What's going on out here? Martha? Is that you? Oh my god!
Oh my god. What did they just do to Mr. Pilfrey?
Hola, miamato, it's a
What the fuck is going on?
Cho, machita, walaho, wo, lumande tanda, ula wakiwala kandama. Hastata bawa. Isa, wotikawa, wuhan.
Do you hear? Please be careful.
It's introducing the Morty gun.
Oh, did that thing just spit all
Finally!
over you?
Oh my god, finally I'm free, thank god! What a nightmare! Listen, can you pull the inhibitor chip out of me? It's the metal thing stuck in me, just pull it out!
What the fuck is that?
Oh, that feels so much better, thank you. Yeah, sorry about the spit. I needed to get you infected with the translator microbe. That's sort of how it works. I guess you guys don't have those here yet. Listen, my name's Kenny. I'm a Gatlian. We gotta move.
What is it? Is it talking to you? Maybe we should go back to the
Ignore
house.
her. It's very important that you listen to everything I say. Okay, it is your lucky day right now. We can survive this together if you just listen to me. Those T3 guys are gonna turn your whole species into drugs. Can you handle a gun? Because, you know, I'm kind of a gun, and if you don't use me to kill those G3 grunts, you know, they're gonna fucking kill us. Fuck yeah, there we go.
And you don't get the crosshair yet, which initially was very concerning, but you do get your suit later.
Let's keep going. Not bad.
Oh yeah, trying to knife things and I don't have a knife yet.
Well, here you go. It's a G3 warp base. Okay, let's just clean house and warp out of here. Not oh shit, submerged. They're tougher. It's letting human into the base. That's a stinger. Fuck yeah. Now grab the warp drone. We'll use this to warp the hell off this doomed planet. Sorry, no offense. I don't mean to upset you, but yes, your planet is doomed right now.
So,
Oh, thank God, it worked. Okay, it's just gonna need a second to boot up. All right, it's go time. Let's get out of here.
wait, get out of here? Where are we going?
To find somebody who can help. You ever been to the big city? Because you're about to, except that it's a space city. It's a huge space city, and you're gonna be out of your element. And you better just follow my lead.
What just happened? We're going out there? Into space?
Yeah, welcome to fucking space.
So I guess now that we've hit space, we can talk about the aesthetics of the game.
Not bad, huh? I don't know how let's just ask around. There's all kinds of aliens out here. Let's just
So
ask.
this is very that Gene over there. I think this is like, as far as like world design, this hub world is these are the things I was talking about by the road blockers. I don't know if there's a way I can make them fall through here, but and it may just be Zephyr Heights or whatever. That map, man, there are a lot of areas where you can fall through it.
Yeah, we can't get inside
there's
that
Gene.
blocks without something really sharp.
But so character or world design, like the world here, it's very cool looking. It's got a lot of nice colors. The world looks fun, but I think you get into issues with some of the worlds later, where what ends up happening is nothing really like stands out. There's not things that draw your attention. They're very
Okay, well, whoopsies. We were gonna ask
I don't want to say they're very bland, but they are very samey, and so it's very hard to kind of just feel where you're supposed to be going.
A bounty hunter friend that's still working, you know, still has
especially
their
when you get
legs.
into larger levels, larger maps where you're fighting. It can be very confusing and disorienting to be like, okay, where did I come from? Where am I supposed to go? Sometimes there's more than one option of where to, or like, you can go different ways. I've had areas where I sort of like go down one way and then eventually it's just like, oh, this isn't where you go. We'll get it in a second when we get, I think, the bounty hunting suit, but there is a like a tracker or whatever where it scans and shows you where the next quest marker is. The quest markers, I feel like
That's convenient.
I feel like it's fine in something like this where it's very linear, you're just kind of going through to like help guide you. But I think it's done very poorly. It stays on the map for a very short period of time and also updates very quickly. So it'll say like, oh hey,
I don't know.
Crust Lord up there. We'll say Crust Lord, the door with the red alien octopus thing, is the quest marker. But it's not like actually the quest marker. It's like, hey, go here, go here, go here, go here, and it'll bounce around like 4 or 5 times before you actually get there, which makes it very... You basically have to mash the T key or whatever, you put your scan key on so that you can get to the same place. It doesn't just say like, hey, it's over here, and then let you sort of... I wish it would stay up on the screen longer, and I wish it would show you where you actually need to go.
Alright, I guess we'll give it a shot, but how about this?
As far as characters go, they're okay. I don't think they're as fun as I would like to. But they don't end up being like terrible. I do think that I don't like Jean as a person, but Jean as a character in the game is fine. The guns are all serviceable. They each have their own personalities, obviously. I think Pseudo-S or Sudi or whatever this little character on the screen is, he serves his job. He's not around for too much, but
All right. I'll get things set up at your house while you're gone.
that is something too. I never got the E to close spam pop-ups, and so I had to go through this with all of the pop-ups, and it was very hard to see because you couldn't actually see anything on the screen.
Okay, let's just head to Mr. Keeps, I guess.
What's up, freak?
Jorb, greet the customer properly.
Welcome to Mr. Keeps, dipshit. We're your friendly neighborhood pawn shop. Buy something or don't, nobody even cares.
Jorb, I'm so sorry. Jorb is insane. Come on up to the counter.
I do think that, and this is too, I guess like the characters really grow on me over time.
Oh, so old Zaruthian.
Because I remember just like the whole game, every character seems so hostile the second you get into the game, and it felt really off-putting. But I think over time, like
I kind of want it for myself.
You got enough useless shit.
it got better because like especially with like Jorb and his son here, there are things like little things like, but it makes it seem like there's like, okay, there is actually a relationship here. Not a good relationship. Both of them are assholes. But like, they're not just assholes for the sake of being assholes. They're just assholes with stories. I don't like,
Just what this galaxy needs. Another good for nothing bounty
like,
hunter. Out of my stuff.
I don't know how I feel about Jorb's son. But they're fine. Like, they have unique personality, unique characteristics, but if we like go around and look at some of the other aliens here on the hub, they're just all blobs of color, and it's serviceable. It's just okay. But it just feels weird, especially with the variety of aliens that you run into. It's weird that none of the aliens inhabit the hub world.
Not talk for a little bit. I'll just stand here. It won't be good.
And so it's, you know, ultimately there's a lot of things that I feel are just fine with the game. and some of that is the design here. Alright, so the first part of this I recorded in a new game. This is later in the game when I've got more of the guns unlocked, so we'll go ahead and we'll show. We do have to see some of Kenny, I think, in that last one, which is the first gun we've got. Got this one, which is the shotgun. It has alt fire to suck people in, and then primary fire obviously is a shotgun. It feels kind of meh. I don't, so let's see. Let me see if I can. I don't actually know. What can I suck in? I can suck you in. Oh. What is going on? But it seems that's okay. So that kind of touches on one of the issues I have with it. It seems very inconsistent with how it works. Especially when it comes to, let's see if I can suck in this smaller one. Nope. We're gonna switch over. This is the fourth like gun you get, because obviously you get the knife, you get that second, but I'm not really counting it as one of the guns. So yeah, second you get shotgun, third you get this. It's effectively just a needler. To detonate it, instead of just shooting at a bunch of them detonating over time. I think that's how needlers work, I don't know. You alt fire, you right click, you aim down sights, and it sends out a charged shot, and then it explodes. It's very meh. It does have, I did forget, the alt fire does have a cool feature, cool ability where it can fire through cover, which is nice. Also fires through multiple enemies. So there are some cool shots you can do where you line up oh, come on. Alright, we're gonna knife people. Yeah. Creature lets you fire off these little things. It's honestly one of my favorite style of guns in games. So if I like think about like Ratchet and Clank, I can't remember what the guns in that are, but like any of the times where you get to fire at little things and have them run around killing people, it's a good time. And this is talking while trying to focus on not dying. It's a lot of work. You do get, each one has, yeah, let me go through the cues. Each gun has its own cue. And the cues are basically, it's an ability on cooldown that allows you to do cool shit. So that one, the needler slows time down in that bubble. Creature, the one that shoots out the little blobs, his mind controls enemies, I'm pretty sure. Kenny has got the blob shot, or glob shot or whatever, which knocks people up in the air. And then Gus's is it's just a saw blade that gets shot out. They all have applications outside of combat. Gus's can be used to stick saw blades into surfaces. Okay, so I'm gonna take some time to talk about the guns. First, we've got Kenny. It's the gun that you saw in the first half of the video. It is basically a standard pistol. It's completely fine. Nothing too bad. The only thing that's annoying is I feel, and this I guess comes down to, like, it would be nice to be able to change the reticle color, because it does, when you're firing a bunch, it is very hard to track where it is, but I guess I'm getting more used to it as time goes on, especially with the bounce back though. Like Kenny said, I think like does sometimes overlap with it. Then we've got Knifey. I wish there was a way for me to have Knifey out. I don't like Knifey. Knifey is a bit extra. And I guess we can save humans while we're walking around, so I can at least accomplish something in the game while talking about the guns. Knifey is, you know, gruesome and excessive.
Time to save some humans.
I think that outside of that, I don't really like it from a design. It's hard for us to see it, but it to me just looks like some weird inflatable plastic knife that is very obsessed with murdering people, which some people will probably find that to be fun and entertaining. I don't really care one way or the other about that. Or I guess it's not necessarily that I don't care about it, it's that I just don't find it to be, like, it doesn't add any humor value to me. I'm not, like, terribly offended or anything. It's just kind of whatever, and the knife looks... Oh yeah, this is where we started, this is where we killed that alien. Just trying to see if there's any humans we can save. I don't know if you get anything for saving them, but might as well try. And then we have Gus. Gus is your shotgun. Has an alt fire that sucks creatures in. One thing I don't like about this is that they do bob up and down, and when they get sucked in, I feel like they bob more often than not. Oh, I didn't realize it sucks in the Gatterall. That is fun. But it sucks them in below where the shotgun can actually hit, and so you don't always get to kill things. I feel like one of the benefits is you're supposed to be able to suck things in and shoot them. But I suck things in, and then they just are like below where I can shoot, so you have to let go and then try to shoot. And it just ends up not being as clean as I think it could or should be. The third gun is essentially just the Needler. I think the Needler homes in, I don't know, I can't recall, but I know it does explode. The crystals, they explode when you do a right click charge shot, so you got 2 alt fires, you got right click, and you've got Q. You don't need to charge it all the way up for it to explode. It's fine. Like, it doesn't do a lot of damage. It's not very accurate. The benefit, or the damage, comes through the charge shot either by exploding. It does also, if you charge the shot, you can shoot through cover. That is a nice ability, especially for the times where I have had enemies get stuck in terrain and I cannot kill them. Being able to shoot them through the terrain they are stuck in has helped me clear some levels. The next gun we got was Creature. Creature fires off his spawn, and they turn into these little things, and they go around and kill everybody. Your right click just shows you where it's going to hit, nothing special. You do have your Q, is the pink one in the center, and it mind controls people. Yeah, so it's pretty cool, I guess. It's a fun gun. Any gun in the game that lets me shoot out a bunch of little creatures and have them fight on my side, I am a big fan of. I haven't really noticed too much of a benefit from the mind control. I don't really feel like it ends up doing too much in the fights to win or lose you the fight. You know, there's always a benefit if you're taking one enemy out and it is doing some damage for you, but I don't think it's like fast enough to really make a difference. Yeah, we talked about Knifey. These are the only guns we have. I am close to maybe unlocking another Gatlian / gun, so we'll see what that is, but for now this is all I've got at my disposal. And oh yeah, we didn't go through the Qs. So each of them has a Q. This one, Sweezy, slows time down. I don't have anything to really show it for, but it's mostly outside of combat. It's for getting through. Yeah, it doesn't even work on. That's one thing, is I do wish it would work on, like, I understand why it would be difficult to do, but I do wish it would work on terrain and things like that as well, because it would be fun to just stick around with. But yeah, it slows down. It's mostly for the level you find the gun on, where there are spinning fan blades and there's flying cars that you can slow down to use as platforms. I haven't really seen it have much value outside of that level yet. Creature with him. We discussed the queue. There are yellow baskets or like yellow holes that you can shoot the children through, and they basically allow you to activate things you couldn't otherwise reach. Oh, hello, human. Gus, he shoots out his saw blade. I don't have anything to shoot it into, but there's like molten surfaces, and when you fire it off, what it does is it sticks in there and acts as a platform that you can tether to. Oh. Huh. I think I'm gonna see if I can get up there. I didn't see the little tether bugs until just now. Also, those are magnetic surfaces. So, you do unlock eventually mag boots, which allow you to walk on these magnetic surfaces. It's okay.
You know what? I used to think Kenny was so cool, you know? I thought he was a good guy.
Oh, I think...
But hey, now I know I was wrong. Now we know that Kenny sucks. Say la vie, Kenny.
I think maybe this is where it's supposed to go anyway. So, works out. Shoot more blades out. I think, yeah, Kenny's, we've got the glob shot, knocks people back, does damage. It's one of my favorite. Oh. Some of these melee ones, they just like get inside you, and it becomes very difficult to deal with. So yeah, I mean, last thing I really, or I think it's the last thing, let me pull up my notes. Last thing I really wanted to talk about is boss fights, actually. So boss fights are... they're all over the place, really. The first boss fight, I feel, was really, really poorly done. It happens in a very small, constricted area, and has at least one ability that is hard, if not impossible, to dodge. I don't think I was ever able to dodge it, and the only way I was able to prevent taking damage from it was to hide behind cover, but the ability actually ends up destroying the cover. And there are only 4 pieces of cover, and it's possible for it to... it's possible for the cover to be destroyed, or more than 1 piece of cover to be destroyed per ability use. So it really ends up coming down to a place where the damage is not dodgeable, and you just have to hope that you can out damage before you die, because you will die. There isn't a way to prevent the damage. And then I think the boss fight I did second was my favorite boss fight. Oh, I think, okay. We're learning, we're learning. I think that I need to get some of these. Oh, and I'm dead. But yeah, so we'll finish this up real quick. The second boss fight I did, which could be the third boss fight because you get to choose the order in some situations between like 2 options. But that fight felt the best. It was a larger space to fight in, and the boss had some cool abilities that made combat interesting. The third boss, again, potentially second, was okay. It wasn't bad. It wasn't nowhere near as bad as the first boss, but it was fine. But it wasn't as good as the second one. It had a heavier reliance on the tether, which I don't know if I've really touched on. I'll touch on really quick. But I really don't like the tether. We can actually, let me find something to tether to. It may just be. But yeah, so.
Ask you a question. Do you think we're being too hard on Kenny?
The tether feels a little slow. This is one of the best applications for it, is these wasps. But you lose all momentum when you hit it, so So it can really slow you down if you're trying to use it to move around. It can be really jarring. But there are zip lines in the game, and the zip lines, I don't even know how to like describe it, but it does, like, whenever you're zipping, it shakes your screen like rapidly back and forth, and it just like, it doesn't look like it's intentional because it happens like on your gun as well, and it just looks really, really, really weird. I guess now I can speak about the fourth boss fight. The fourth boss fight was okay. It is multiple waves, and it was sort of, again, it was okay, and I think that's generally like the consensus I come to with this game is it's okay. The game is okay. I know that I've seen a lot of takes where it's basically like, yeah, if you like Rick and Morty humor, more Rick and Morty humor, you'll probably like it. And I think that, you know, for the most part, that is true. I do think that if it were half the price, it would be a lot easier to justify, because again, I don't think there's anything like atrociously wrong with this game, but I don't think it has, it's not as tight, it doesn't feel like it's as complete of a product as it should be for the price point it's at. So I think, like, ultimately you're saying, is having this experience, I don't know how long it's going to end up being, but it does look like I'm nearing the end after about 10 to 12 hours of play, so we'll say 15 to 20 hours. Is that worth it for 15 or so hours of, you know, fun voices and improv comedy? To each their own. For me personally, I think that it is a hard sell for me, and I would not have, if I were buying based off of what I know now and not trying to make a video with it, I would not have purchased the game. I do believe that it is something you can play for free on one of the passes. If you do get it for free, or if you're able to get it discounted and you like this style of game, I think that it is a completely fine thing. I think you'll have fun. I think you will have a good time playing it. There are some parts, again, or maybe a bit uncomfortable. There is some areas where they do talk about, like, you know, the knife gets really violent and drugs are being consumed, or humans are being consumed as a drug. So, and some of that consumption, they make jokes about people of different ages. I don't think it gets to anything that's like terrible or anything, but it could be something that makes people uncomfortable. So, yeah, I mean, do with that what you will. I don't necessarily recommend it or not recommend it. I think that the price is very high for what the game currently offers, but if, you know, if this style of game is something you think you can get a lot of replayability out of, then, you know, I hope you have a good time playing it. I hope you have fun. Thanks for watching, and talk to y'all later.